able to convert it. Champion Maverick Vinales in the middle, and then of course Marc Marquez, 8 times a winner so far in Prix, and 8 times world champion, 6 of those in MotoGP of course. Cal Crutchlow absolutely fighting with an animal, and that's the Honda. He's the second fastest Honda out there, but he's back on the 5th row. Is of course Jorge Lorenzo. What can he do from there? His tyre choice is slightly different from everything. He's long gone. But they're going to be, they won't be a problem, of course, because they'll have. So then, we are about to have the main event, the PT.
Actually, he's only ever won 1 Grand Prix in the past.
2, but he got 1 took away.
One took away from a faulty tyre pressure.
Oh, hang on, 73.58 miles, round 15 is away, and down towards turn 1. There's so much riding on this. Marquez, that was a bit of a reticent start for him, wasn't it? And he's going to drive out of turn 1 if he can onto this back straight. You know the Honda's good. What I'm amazed at is the way that the Yamaha held their own down that straight.
That was incredible, actually. I'm shocked. But
It's easy to do when you've got a lot of nerves, and there were a lot of nerves down there. Look at this, out goes Morbidelli out into the rough stuff as well, but it is up front. It is a long way for motorbike and man, and we are going to have the biggest old race here in Buriram, that's for sure. He got it all worked out, but I just couldn't see him having the same kind of arrogant pace when he came from virtually nowhere from earlier on in the week. But 26G battering that we're talking about with Marc Marquez, he actually got off the floor, went to the hospital, and then he's hotter now than we were then.
That's right, he did a 23-lap run on his last lap. He did a 31.0
race as well. That's pretty impressive round the outside of Quartararo. So then it's
in there too deep.
A few mile an hour extra. Oh, hang on, 73.58 miles, round 15 is away, and down towards turn 1. There's so much riding on this. Marquez, that was a bit of a reticent start for him, wasn't it? And he's going to drive out of turn 1 if he can onto this back straight. We know the Honda's good, but what I'm amazed at is the way that the Yamaha held their own down that straight.
That was incredible, actually. I'm shocked. But it's 30 degrees, but feels like 40 because of the humidity.
He's been having a good weekend as well. Joan Mir, the rookie, looking very good on the Suzuki, beating his teammate Rins, who's behind Ross Espargaro, up there in 10th place. Taka Nakagami, the second of the Hondas at the moment. Where is Crutch?
Some worse. This morning he was 19th in the morning warm-up. I mean, I have never seen Cal down in 19th place.
It's the other way. Marquez manages to control that apparently by using a whole load of rear brake. I see a whiff of smoke. I just saw a little whiff of smoke, but we'll keep an eye on it. Whatever happens, it's Quartararo under pressure, and we know he can handle pressure. Every test so far, would he crack under pressure? Zano, Marquez.
The mistake you could say he's made all year was in the first Grand Prix, stalling it on the line. That is about the only mistake we've seen.
The problem for me just there was that Quartararo was using, I think, just a bit of the green work.
If they class that as 1, let's say, you're allowed, what is it, 2 or 3?
3, I think, isn't it? Well, I mean, it's discretion. What did we do last time? 1:31.4. We're at the end of the lap.
Yeah, what we've seen, Marquez's pace. So at this point,
like a worn tyre.
Exactly. At this point, I think Marquez is not stressing. He knows it's a long race.
Behind him and where they are than what's going on in front at the moment. And he's got to be hurt. You do not take a trip down in the Buriram town and not have an ache or two. A little slower than we've seen him. He's an athlete that jumps around quite a lot, and we've not really seen that. Still a relatively high fuel load as well, so it will feel a bit heavy. Two Suzuki.
Brilliant.
Oh, hang on, 73.58 miles, round 15 is away, and down towards turn 1. There's so much riding on this. Marquez, that was a bit of a reticent start for him, wasn't it? And he's going to drive out of turn 1 if he can onto this back straight. We know the Honda's good. What I'm amazed at is the way that the Yamaha held their own down fighting with Rossi, because Rossi's the man that's chasing after. Rossi's crew chief next year, Silvano Gobachera, will David Munoz, who comes across from Moto2, Bullega's team in the VR46 operation. Oh, Rossi, that's a big old deal that Valentino's gone with there. Breath of fresh air, it would seem, for 2020. Wrong, didn't he? And back comes Mir. These two are now going to be rubbing shoulders.
He will not
get the better of the 23-year-old Alex Rins.
He just looks a bit ragged, Rins, doesn't he?
It might rain for this, so I thought he might well be a podium material with that Suzuki, but the rain...
To say he's caught the field already.
It really is. He's caught Lorenzo. Lorenzo's done and dusted, so...
Tell you what, Quartararo stretching this.
And look at the times he's doing. He's doing 31 low.
You know what I mean? He wouldn't sit back a second. Not a second, but like that gap. I know it's not a big gap.
It's up sooner than he's wrapped up any other title ever. Commentary position here as well, along with the heat and humidity, comes some fairly ugly looking small
that bit just to keep everything cool.
I think he's right.
Heat is a massive issue around here. Normally on a track you would be tight and overheat and the motor. So
it could be. That could be right. Marc Marquez is very, very smart. But they've now switched that a little bit, and finally they've given Fabio Quartararo, and it's made massive. Looked at it.
Well, he was always the bottom 3 every track we've been to. Where this weekend, and we're talking around the mid-pack, hasn't he?
Not anymore on speed. Top speed of that Yamaha, a little bit better for Yamaha at the moment. When you looked at qualifying, Quartararo on a Yamaha first, Maverick Vinales on a Yamaha second. Franco taps on the gas straight away.
First man into the 30s as well, look at that. Like he had tyre, when he's been doing his race runs, he has not had those lap times like Fabio.
Saving him up. Tight. He's going to... Now Mir, Rins has already gone past Rossi. Rossi's fading here. Rossi's fading. Well, I've got to say as well, it has a bigger impact on your body than when you're 20 odd years old. There is no doubt about it.
There is a reason.
Maybe
incredible motorcycle racers.
As he is.
You just can't continue to cope with this heat.
It's like a war when you're out there in this. Digging in is all very well, but we've already seen a couple of podiums here, and they take their helmet off and you think, hang on a minute, it's hardly any sweat. If that was me, I'd be dripping. Quartararo, what did we see last year when we came out of the Phillip Island Australian Grand Prix? We were in the queue of a squash or something. He's out running. We're in the queue, and he's already out running and retraining for the next round.
But not your Quartararo, look at him. And we both said at the time, I'll tell you what, obviously by then we knew he was going to MotoGP. I said it's
this racetrack, and that really is the Liberty Takers part of the track, I think. That turn 4, 5, and then of course you've got 6. Looking good, that Honda, but it's just a question of whether he's using it all just yet. He looks like he's closed that down. It was 0.5 at 0 for Fabio Quartararo, so we'll see when they get to this turn 12 again next time around, as we
will not be happy at all.
He'll want to win.
At all.
It's closing right in now. But it was down to 0.3 by the way at the line last time.
It was like Mark, you could just see him carrying that little bit more speed in the corner.
Having said that, we know that Quartararo is prepared to risk. This is where the Honda and Marc Marquez, more likely, is so good through here. He's closed Quartararo right now. But there isn't. It looks in good order still. The Honda does as well.
Yeah, so do the fronts.
So not a tyre issue that's well, pretty shocking the way they ride motorbikes now. The amount of curve that you take inside and outside. All the wheels go in line and it pushes forward straight away. We were watching it through qualifying.
Well, that's the Casey Stoner technique. He was
get the line between these two, but I don't really need to tell you that because you can see it in front of you. Quartararo, Marquez, Vinales is just over the line. Alberto Puig watches on. All their jobs are riding on Marc Marquez, I was going to say, and that is with Takaki Nakagami.
Then the late, bear in mind that's the 2018 Honda. The next
in 19th place, 33 seconds behind
after just 13 laps. Still,
it's going to explode there eventually. Alberto Puig seems to be a bit harsh towards Lorenzo as well. Lorenzo will be picking that up on the radar. That's left after this one.
We don't think he's going to be Lorenzo. That is, we don't think he's going to be riding for Honda next year, do we?
Well, when it comes to stock value. One of your favourite phrases.
This man.
Yeah, he's just so good. Hello. An indication, just has map written on the top of Quartararo's board. I wonder if they've got a different mapping for a little bit more horsepower.
The fact that he's been on that pace is very, very impressive.
Very, for this amount of time.
To put it into some sort of perspective then.
This is what the race is about. The 93, if he continues where he is, will be take his first ever win on a MotoGP bike. You wouldn't have said he had this kind of pace for all to see, but whatever they've done with that Yamaha, the increase in temperature, and that's the other thing that's yet still that Yamaha is coping with it really, really well.
Looks fine, wheels in line, doesn't look scruffy like that. He's not climbing all over the motorcycle. They've got the electronics working beautifully on that Yamaha.
11 lap street, pretty fire, long straights. You get a little bit of a rest, but you don't really, not from the heat, because you're crouched over that body and temperature. It's the humidity that gets you whenever you're in these Southeast Asian countries. Fourth place from Morbidelli, Mir and Rossi, Petrucci, Alessia Spargro. Where's Rins gone? He's going to sit there until the time.
Sit there and wait right till the end.
The only thing that's different is that Quartararo do to make Marc Marquez on the last lap go the long way around. He didn't have a choice back in Misano because the Honda...
Marquez's strong point is the first two sectors of this lap. So if he does make a pass there, luckily he could get some track position and basically set himself up for a dive bomb into the last corner. I've just got a feeling
I might be having a little nibble back of it. Marquez looks very strong through 4, 5, 6 out that sector. You watch him now, round of 3, so up this straight, over the hill we go. It's a nice gentle rise over the Dave Marquez. If he can get under in there and destabilise, come onto their feet. And northeast of Thailand, 2 laps to go then. It's building. Has Marquez? Of course he has. Going to be a scrabble for the line between these two, that's for certain. There's no one else in this race here. The Thai Grand Prix. Will Marquez make all down to the Spaniard in second place at the moment? What has he and that Honda got left? Quartararo into 4.
And this is where last year he dived underneath
from 5.
Yeah, the bike just turns better there. The Honda, it's almost like he leans the.
You can hear him over the mics as well, but certainly there's a lot going on here. Everybody watching this Premier Class race then. This Marc Marquez has been sitting there for some time.
I can't watch Keith.
Oh, no, my hands are sweating, even though I hear there's going to be some battle in Buriram, that's for sure. Even the man holding the board looks tense. Down. Yeah, but he built all the way through, but he's going to go the long way round the outside. That's incredible.
That's the limit.
He's got it there, but now then, turn 3, squirting down towards turn 4 on the Yamaha, holding him up. He knew he could make a break through 4, 5 and 6, and he's making that break at the moment. Quattro had to be in front by 4, 5, 6 corners so that he could build enough to keep the Yamaha just that little bit away from Marc Marquez. This is going to be close, you know. Out comes the Honda, but on the back of him, right there is the turn 12. Quattro's going to go to the inside. He's up the inside of Marquez. Can he get it stopped? Can he get it stopped? Oh, it's going to be a Honda win. Marc Marquez perfectly judges the win here. He is king of Thailand. Marc Marquez 2 out of 2 at this racetrack. He is the world champion again, 8 times the world champion. Magnificent. There is no doubt about it.